Anyone else that's in my AP Lit class, do not watch this video. If you're about to take the AP test, this is not a credible source of information. I have no idea. I kind of read the Scarlet Letter. Hey guys, I'm currently in my floor filming this, and we're doing a little get ready with me for the AP exam, which is, hang on, let me look at my next week. Have I prepared at all? No, I have not. My AP Lit teacher is making us do little exam notes tonight to turn in to talk about tomorrow, and I have to pick 2 books. So we've read a lot of books this year, and I have to pick 2 novels and a play. I think we all know what play I'm going to pick that we read this year. If you're in my AP Lit class and you're watching this, you already know what play I'm going to choose. As for novels, we've read Pride and Prejudice, Scarlet Letter, Cry the Beloved Country, All the Pretty Horses, and Fathers and Sons. Now, I could give you my individual thoughts on each book, and I'm probably going to in post, because I'm not going to do it right this second. So I chose Hamlet as my play. The novels are important too, I guess.
Fathers and Sons. I want to talk about Fathers and Sons now. Fathers and Sons is super fun as a book because it's just so wacky. It's a Russian book that was translated into English, and honestly, once you get over the names, it's a good book to read. It's pretty simplistic in the fact that it's like Arkady, who is Nikolai, I don't remember his last name's son, and Arkady brings his BFF Bazarov over to stay with him for a little bit, and Bazarov's gonna go meet his parents, and Bazarov is like the worst character you have ever met, and he dies at the end. Oh, spoilers. He dies at the end because he likes to think that he's a doctor. He's not, and he gets cut, and he gets tuberculosis and dies because it's like the 1800s, and he gets tuberculosis somehow because he didn't have antiseptic, and also I think that partially it was suicidal thoughts. Anyway, Bazarov's not a great... Bazarov and Pavel, those two are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Pavel thinks that the aristocracy is super cool and super great, and he's got like this manicure. He's got like, they spend an entire paragraph talking about his hands. It's great. It's a good book. You should read it. It's great. And Bazarov only cares for frogs, not principles. They get into a duel like halfway through the book, and then Bazarov just like shoots Pavel in the leg, and it's kind of accidental, and then he goes, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that, and then he tries to help Pavel. Pavel winds up being fine, but it's hilarious. Arkady is the best character in the book. He's trying his best. At the very end of the book, where Bazarov's like, when Bazarov platonically breaks up with Arkady, he's like, you don't have the constitution to be a true nihilist. You're not, like, you don't have a good enough shield around you to, like, take all of the criticism that you're gonna get if you go full nihilist. Like, I can't be friends with you anymore. I don't like you anymore. I'm gonna leave you. Bye, former bestie. Yeah, it's a lot more touching than that, but I don't want to pull out the book right now. It's a good book. You should read it. You should read Fathers and Sons. Don't read any of the other books that I've listed. Just read Fathers and Sons.
So my other book that I chose, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like this. It's All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy.
All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. Let's talk about All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. This was the first book that we read this year, and I hated it every second of that book. Like, I didn't like the plot. The characters were alright. I didn't like that there were 0 quotation marks. So sometimes you would be in the middle of a conversation and then you would be talking about like descriptions of scenery or something, and it was just so confusing because it's like, where is the punctuation, Cormac McCarthy? Where is my signifier? If you have a conversation and it's 3 pages long and you don't have one John blinked or something to signify who's talking, I get confused, and then I lose who's talking, and then I have to go all the way back to the beginning and reread it. It made me so mad. We had a reading quiz on that the first day of school, and you know what I got? I looked at it the other day. I got a 52 on that quiz. First grade of the year, and I got a 52. This book makes me mad. I didn't like it. There's some good scenery, but I did not like it. I hated it. I hated reading it. I hated going over it.
And like my first essay of the year, I got on this book. I got a 75 on it because I got one statement about the book wrong. There were some minor grammar errors, but he added 20 points onto my grade. I went from a 75 to a 95. He doesn't add that many points back on for minor grammatical errors. And then I had a failing grade for most of the first semester. Oops.
Like, I love the man. He's great. He's a great teacher. He's you can tell. Like, I love Dr. Rob's class. It is one of my favorite classes to go to of the day because you can Dr. Rob is great. Like, he's a great teacher. You can tell that he loves doing what he does, and you can tell he's really into this whole literature thing. But sometimes I am not on board. I was not on board the All the Pretty Horses Express, and that's okay. I didn't like it, and I'm not going to read it again. I take that back. I chose it as one of my books for the AP exam, so I'm probably going to have to read it again. But also, I remember barely enough, and I may just go over the Spark Notes again.
Would I take the class again? If I don't have to do any of the work, I would take it again. I like the atmosphere. I like how we all just kind of discuss and argue things.
Wait, I didn't talk about Hamlet. Let's talk about Hamlet. So, if you're in my AP Lit class, you know already that I really like Hamlet. Like, I really, 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 really like Hamlet. It is one of my favorite plays. I can't even tell you why. I just like it. And if you read Hamlet, you will have quotes for all occasions. Just any kind of occasions. Like, there's this one part where Hamlet, he's talking, and he's like, "You thought you could play me? Can you play the flute?" And, well, no, he goes, "Can you play the flute?" And then the other just like, "No." And Hamlet goes, "So you thought you could play me?" And then he winds up on a pirate ship for like an entire act. It's pretty wacky. You have to read Hamlet. Like, Hamlet is great. It's a great play. However, it is very long and has a lot of very interesting and complex language. So you've got different characters in Hamlet, and I'm going to talk about this for a while, so just get some popcorn or something. I should just make this a separate video. But, so you've got my main man Hamlet, who I like to think of as like an 18 to early 20s kind of dude. Like early college kind of years. Maybe he graduated college. Maybe he just, I don't know. But the play, my bad, says something like, he's 40, and I'm choosing to ignore that. Please don't make him 40. The reason I say this is because it makes him seem like a whiny man baby instead of someone who actually is suffering from something. I think it's more angsty, and it works better if he's younger, as in like under 25. Not that 25-year-olds don't have problems. I'm just saying that in Hamlet's case, it works better if he's 22 and younger. Somewhere between 18 and 22. Like, you know. That's my opinion. Giving a lot of opinions this time. So then you have Horatio, who is Hamlet's best friend. And he tries to rein in Hamlet the entire play. It doesn't work. And then he tries, when Hamlet gets poisoned at the end of the play, he's like, oh, there's still some poison left in this cup. I'm going to drink some. We can be besties in the afterlife. And I say that with giant quotation marks because they're
two bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Anyway. Then you have Claudius, who is the worst man ever alive today. He's not alive today. He murdered Hamlet's father, and then Hamlet...
Why you mad? Why you sad? When you can be glad.
With mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage. Like, Claudius, shut up. Shut up. You deserve to be stabbed. Because Hamlet was going to stab him while he was praying. Then Hamlet said, oh my god, he's praying and I don't want him to go to heaven. And then he literally tells Claudius to go to hell at one point. It's great. Right after he kills Polonius, he's like, go find him. He's in the stairs. If you don't find him there, feel free to go search for him in the other place yourself. And it's a reference to heaven and hell, and it's super funny. I can't fully, because I don't do acting, so I'm not going to be able to fully recreate, but just pretend that what I'm saying makes sense. Hamlet is a good play. So then you have Gertrude, who is the queen, and actually one of the great parts of her character is that you can just kind of like go back and forth on whether or not she was totally in on it the whole time or if she was just completely clueless. Either way, she still married her husband's brother, which was like super taboo back in the day. But she waited like 3 whole months, and she was supposed to mourn for like a year or something like that. But she like just got married. She's living it up with this new dude. Hamlet doesn't like it at all. Hamlet is very... I don't know how to describe him. He's very something. He's something. I just pick an adjective, it probably works. Hamlet. I could make an entire video on why I think Hamlet is a great play, but we're not here to talk about that. I think Hamlet's a good play. Now, whether you agree with me or not is subjective. I don't care what you think, but I appreciate you sharing your opinion. And I hope that this AP exam goes well. Pretty excited, actually, since it's one question. It's one question, guys, and I have to answer this one question in 45 minutes. One essay in 45 minutes, and I have to figure out how to do that. I really want to get a 5 because Dr. Rob said that if I get a 5 on the AP exam, he'll give me a signed copy of his shrimp villanelle. Wait, hang on. Yes, synopsize is the correct word. I could synopsize all of these books. How come I didn't know that you're not supposed to say in conclusion at the end of an essay until my junior year of high school, when during my first essay of the year I put in conclusion, and Dr. Rob told me that isn't a valid way to end an essay. And I, in class, in front of all of my peers, I asked, why? Oh, are you gonna... Sippy.